What you are about to watch is the Lion's Wealth process when it comes to wealth protection. There are many things here that we are going to be talking about, working on, and making sure that you can utilize in your own wealth plan. Welcome. It's nice having you, and I want to specifically be spending our time today talking about the Lion's Wealth process as it pertains to wealth protection. You see, there's many different aspects of wealth protection that you need to be going down to make sure that you have the basis of your wealth covered. Now, what I look for here when it comes to wealth protection is making sure that, in essence, that your wealth is not unjustly taken by extenuating circumstances. So what that means is whether it's a lawsuit or whether that's just an untimely passing or death. Well, there's a lot you can be looking at on your own personal wealth plan. Now, when we dive into it, we have a couple of key areas that we look at for wealth protection. And it starts with life insurance. So everything with life insurance now comes back down to the fact that we want to make sure that you're covered. So earlier in your career, that's just making sure that if something happens to you, that obviously that your spouse can be taken care of. That's a piece of it. But what about your children? What about your income sources? What about schooling, college, all those different aspects? That is a very big piece when it comes to making sure that you're taken care of. So when we take a look at life insurance, it's not just about a set number, say $500,000 or $1 million worth of income and coverage. No. What you want to be looking for is taking a look at your income today. So what you make on a yearly basis, what your needs are as a family, what your desires are, your outcome is for making sure that the kids go to school, that your spouse is taken care of no matter what. You see, we want to make sure that all of those aspects are a part of the life insurance. So if we need to be leaving a legacy, well, that's a different aspect as well. That means a little bit more than, say, if we just wanted to make sure that you have an income replacement. All of those translate into how much life insurance you need. Now, there's many calculators that can help you with this online, and as you have questions, obviously we here at Lion's Wealth can help with that as well. But life insurance is a piece of it. The second aspect then that you have to be utilizing going down, especially in the US, is health insurance. You see, we have the needs for healthcare the same way that anyone else does. And when we take a look at health insurance, sometimes spending a little bit more today can actually save us a lot of money in the future. Now, what I mean by that is that we all have premiums, we all have deductions, we all have outlays of capital and expenses just on a yearly basis based upon our health insurance. But if we take a look at it, and we know that there's some planned things that we need to be doing this year, we can make some adjustments to your health insurance to take care of that. Maybe we pay more in premiums this year, but that means we pay an exorbitant amount less in out-of-pocket maximums. Or maybe we make some changes and saying, well, maybe this year we don't have that many needs. So maybe we are actually going to be having more of an out-of-pocket max, but less in premiums. But here's the thing. We want to make sure that you're covered. We want to make sure you're covered well. We want to make sure your family is covered. So we don't want to skimp on the health insurance plans that are out there, especially since those can protect your hard-earned wealth. So we have life insurance. We have health insurance. Now it comes back down to disability. You see, disability insurance is something that is realistically overlooked by the majority, and you may be included. But disability is now something that when we take a look at the needs, the ways in which if something happened to you and you're out of work for, well, even 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, for many different reasons, disability can actually start paying out. So very short term is, well, that's sick leave. That's what that's for. Then you have short-term disability that can be for anywhere from a couple months to maybe even say a year. You have long-term disability disability, which may be a lot longer than that as well, depending on your needs and depending on your company, or if you have your own plan. So if your company provides disability insurance, that's one aspect to make sure that you have just an awareness of, and you can go down those planning stages to look at the disability insurance to cover your income in case something happens. It's just like life insurance. It's protecting against the what ifs, but sometimes we need those to pay out, to make sure that you're taken care of. Now, if your company does not have disability insurance, that is actually a good stage then to start looking at other areas. And there are many ways you can have disability income outside of your company, and then insurance is taken care of outside your company. Okay, so now we have those aspects taken care of. Now that leads us to long-term care. This is a huge topic when it comes to insurance. Should you be paying for long-term care or not? Now, on average today in the US, it can be anywhere from $8,000 to probably even up to $10,000 or even $12,000 per month spent on care. Now, some of you may have lesser of a need for long-term care, and others of you may even have more of a need than that amount, or you're in a state that has a higher cost of care. Well, that all comes back down to saying, if we have to outlay, let's just call it $10,000 per month just to pay for long-term care, that's $120,000 per year. That will start wiping out many individuals of their hard-earned wealth very quickly. So what do we do then? Well, we have the long-term care that can step in and actually start utilizing that amount of money. So maybe it pays half of it. Maybe it pays $5,000 per month. Maybe not all 10. Well, having that is saying it's the difference between, say, $120,000 per year that you have to pay out of pocket versus $60,000 per year. Now, if you have pensions and Social Security and some of those things, that can still help out and actually make up some of those differences, but it doesn't all have to come out of your wealth plan. That's what we want to be talking about and what you want to be realizing. Now, there's obviously some other ways you can go about this too. You don't have to go down just long-term care as an insurance. You can be utilizing, especially if we need the life insurance, maybe there are some life insurances that you can be finding that have what's called a rider. That's a long-term care rider, and will pay out, if your needs arise, more money towards long-term care and less money towards a death benefit. So we can actually be mixing and matching, if I can talk correctly, with a lot of those different aspects there. So we have many different ways in which we can be utilizing things correctly with life insurance, with disability, with long-term care, with health insurance. Now, as a business owner, maybe you want to be funding a life insurance policy, what's called a buy-sell. Well, those are different types of insurances that can be used for that part. But what happens if you pass away and your business owner needs to take over the ownership, but your interests will go to your family? That's where the buy-sell agreements come in. We have the rights to have those life insurance to pay off to the family, so the business owner can buy out the business, keep that going, and making sure your family is taken care of. Now, property casualty is also part of this as well. So as you can see, there's different avenues you go down, and it's part of the planning that goes into each one of these. And right now, what I want you to do is just be thinking about all of them. See, property casualty is something to say basically your house is taken care of with coverage, your car, your auto, your boat, your airplane. All of those are taken care of with your coverage. Well, sometimes that may not be enough. And giving an example, here in my home state of Minnesota, we have a lot of what's called black ice. Now, black ice is something that when it gets to be very, very cold, well, anything related to just your exhaust actually starts freezing on the road. And what happens is that can actually be slicker than ice, so it's more slippery. And what happens then is that you can be going along and actually being in control of your car, but just when you tap on the brakes, you can't stop. And no amount of traction on your treads of your tire will help with that if you are on this what's called black ice. Well, if you plow into a car ahead of you because of that, cause some bodily injury and damage to the car, that could easily be over $1 million that you're paying out, and your auto insurance may not cover all that. So then they come back against your hard-earned wealth, and what happens then is that you may be obligated to take money out of your retirement accounts or take money out of your just brokerage accounts to pay for this. That's where the correct property casualty comes into play, and so we can actually be using and utilizing other coverages to make sure that that happens. So what you're starting to see is it's not just one thing for wealth protection. It's many different aspects that come into play to protect your hard-earned wealth in the times that you need it most. Now, see, that's what we work with here at Lions Wealth. We take a look at where you're at today, where you want to go in the future, and we start looking at all of those different gaps that exist. The different gaps of your wealth plan. So making sure that you have the taxes correctly, or the insurances, or the investments correctly. But when we come back to why we do that, it's because we want to make sure that your money is not unjustly taken, that you keep your hard-earned wealth, and that you can be having a wealth plan that you are proud of, that you can have the legacy that you want, and that you can make sure that you are taking care of your family, taking care of your community, taking care of your company, today, tomorrow, and in the future. That is why wealth protection is so vitally important, and why we have a process to go down to look at all of those different insurances to make sure you're taken care of. I want to thank you for watching this video on wealth protection. You see, when it comes down to the process, it's vitally important that you have everything taken care of when it comes to your wealth plan, so that your money is not unjustly taken. Now, there's more to the processes that we go through here at Lions Wealth, and to learn more and how you can utilize them with your own wealth plan, check out this video right here. And as you want to learn more, as you want to have us sit down with you and give a second opinion on your wealth plan, check out the link below. I look forward to seeing you in the next videos.